Everybody, welcome to the show. It's me, Matt Slick. You're listening to Matt Slick Live. And as usual, if you want to give me a call, it's easy. All you have to do is dial 877-207-2276. And if you want, you can also email me info@carm.org, info@carm.org. And you can do that very easily. And all you have to do is put in the subject line radio comment or radio question, and we can get to it. Now, on Fridays, a lot of times what we do is hate mail, and we don't have any hate mail, but we do have some just regular questions. I prefer hate mail. I think hate mail is really good, but we don't have it. How come the Carm thing's not on Club Deck? Oh, we'll find out. Okay. And if you want to watch the show, you can do that very easily. You can go to rumble.com/Matt Slick Live, and you can watch in there. We have a lot of good people. We chat and joke and have fun, and some friendships have been made in there. So if that sounds interesting, if it sounds what like you want to do, then you go check it out at rumble.com/Matt Slick Live. All right, I bet I could write an epic hate mail, says John. I actually wrote an article on how to insult me because a lot of the articles weren't very good. A lot of the insults, weren't written properly, and it didn't have good grammar and stuff. And so I couldn't get everything to work, and or I couldn't understand them, and I couldn't appreciate them because they weren't that good. So I wrote an article there, how to insult, and something. I have 1 through 10, and number 1 is just kind of meager, and 10 is really, really obstreperous. And I said, if you want, you can email me which numbers you like as an insult. And one person wrote 1 through 10. I wrote back, well said. So it was pretty good. So there you go. Hey, look, all right. Now, enough of the joking around. Like I said, if you want to give me a call, 877-207-2276. And I think we have, no, do we have, we don't, yeah, we do. We have a hate mail. Now, on Fridays, I do hate mails. Let's see. I think I read this one before. And so I'll get into it. Let's see. This is, hate mail. You lose, Matt. Now, that's a good way to start. It's succinct, and it's 3 words, complete sentence with a capital and a comma at the proper place. So this is good. Good start. Your attempt to justify your innermost problems with your twisted ministry is gone. Well, I definitely have some innermost problems. They're still there. So I don't understand how they could be gone without that. They're saying I'm really getting more sanctified and doing a lot better. That's a nice statement, but you got to understand what you're saying. It's gone anyway. Now, shut down Carm or be arrested. Shut down Carm or be arrested by the FBI. Okay, that's what it says. I'm just going to say I can't get Clubhouse. The Matt Slick thing on Clubhouse doesn't show up. It does not show up at all. So you got to do an invite or something. I don't know what's going on, but it's just not there like it normally is. All right, so there you go. All right, and this person goes on. I don't know. The FBI is gonna get me. If you think I'm gonna fall for your sick games, I turned you into the Department of Defense. Saying a threat to national security. Wow. I wonder how that's the case. Woo. So that's pretty good hate mail. I like that hate mail. You don't actually have pages of hate mail, but I haven't gotten much. When I first started out, I used to get lots of hate mail and lots of it. I did. I always love hate mail. I really do. I get all this hate mail, and so I put it in pages and pages on Carm, and you can look up hate mail. Hate mail and love mail, and I put it in there. Maybe I'll go read some of it because some of it's pretty old, but it's still good. All right. Okay. It's just nothing. Okay, I'll do some questions. Oh, yeah, wacko mail. Wait a minute, wacko mail. See, that's a special category, wacko mail, and it looks like, looks like, oh my goodness, one person, one person's filling it up with wacko mail, and oh my goodness, look at that. It's pretty good. Let's see. Wow, it's been. I can't read that one. It's just too long. Please, please, pretty please, do not sound like the Adams family or the Munsters. That attitude makes me sick, as some Christians are offended by such a thing. What are you talking about? Anyway, I know that being Christian is more important than being Catholic. Yeah, well, Catholics aren't Christians if they follow official Roman Catholic theology. And then it says Mormonism, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but no one's perfect. You got that right. No one is except Jesus. So let's see. How about this one? In the Bible, Ezekiel informs us that the record of Judah and Ephraim will be joined together. Yeah, 28, and it was fulfilled if you read later in the chapter. It's not the Book of Mormon and stuff like that. I like to say the Bible is from Judah, and the stick of Joseph is from Ephraim. Let's see if they get to it. Yeshua informs us the words of Isaiah. Well, come on, why is this in the wacko category? You know, it just really there's just not as much good wacko stuff. It's not as good as the epic Atomic Body Man email, which happened about 10 years ago, and it was just epic. And I was in a particularly good mood, and so I was going through these emails, these hate mails and stuff, these wacko mails, and I got to this one, and it was Atomic Body Man, and that's what it was titled. And this guy's pastor apparently was supposed to turn into an atomic body, and I just had fun with it. It was one of those emails, just like, are you kidding me? And a certain date was turn into an atomic body and all that kind of stuff, and I just had a lot of fun with it. And people were talking about it for a few weeks when I had a radio show here in the area. My friends were, dude, that was funny. So. Well, we can't. I can't open. There is nothing in Clubhouse. Just let you know, a little housekeeping here. I have Clubhouse opened. I am signed in, and I don't see the the normal thing that opens up, so I can go in there. I don't see it. Just telling you, don't see it. So I'm not going to sure what to do, but that's what it is. All right. All right. We have nobody waiting. If you want to give me a call, 877-207-2276. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a Matt Slick Clubhouse thing. I just started it. So I don't know what happened, how it worked, but I got one going so you guys can check it out. I'm in it. And hopefully that'll work. If that makes sense. All right. So let me just get to some regular radio questions. Let's see if we can do some of that stuff. Oh, by the way, I was walking around the neighborhood last night. I did 4 miles, and so it's 20 minutes a mile. And I talked to a bunch of people, and I had a really great conversations. I was able to discuss the issue of Unitarianism and why it fails. And I taught on Trinitarianism, hypostatic union, communicatio idiomatum. It was a great teaching time. I really enjoyed that. And that was, incidentally, on Clubhouse. All right, let's see. Show question. Let's see. How about this? Oh, come on. These are too long. I'm a new Christian. Something is confusing me. Yeah, we went over that one already, so that's okay. Lynn says, Mr. Slick, hope and pray all is well with you. I know you debate a lot of atheist folks. Have you ever talked to Ronald Reagan Jr.? I saw his commercial once, and the only thing that stuck was his last comment that he didn't mind burning in hell. See, I don't know. I'd be glad to debate him and anybody, atheist on this stuff. But for someone to say something like that, I wouldn't mind burning in hell. It's just sheer stupidity. It is. And you just have to say it. I've had atheists tell me, they go, yeah, I wouldn't mind burning in hell. And I say, look, that's just stupid. It is. It's dumb. Why would you say something like that? Because what you're saying is that you don't care what happens and that suffering for eternity is not a problem. And the actuality of it, I wouldn't mind predicting. It's just dumb. When people say things like that to me, I basically, excuse me, I try and deal with them. I try and get them to see how utterly stupid they are being. And I'm sorry, but that's what it is, because they're not thinking. What they're doing is just reacting emotionally. They don't want to see any facts or rationality with their stuff. So, yeah, I would debate him. I'd love to debate him and talk to him about it. So other atheists, but anyway. And by the way, I'm supposed to be debating on the 22nd, a week from tomorrow, in Sandy, is it Sandy, Utah? The Mormonism Research Ministry is. I gotta get more information on all this stuff, but they have a center, and it's the Mormon Christian. When they have 4 words for a name, I always get mixed up. But they have a great center. I've been to it. It is really awesome. And Andrew Rappaport and I are going to be debating on Saturday, the 22nd at 6 p.m. And if you want more information on this, just go to mrm.org and you can get the information. And maybe I'll find it during the break and give you some more specifics. So here we're going to be debating whether or not the spiritual gifts are for today. Now, this is an important topic to me, and I have some history with this topic and pastoring and things like this, and some other stuff. So I'm going to tackle it, and I'm going to prep up on it. So I think it'll be interesting, hopefully. All right, and if you want information, I'll give you some more a little bit. Let's get to Janet from Raleigh, North Carolina. Janet, welcome. You're on the air.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I just have a quick question. I wanted to know, maybe you don't have to go into any detail or anything, but if you want to just talk about your own personal experience, that's fine. But I wanted to ask, how do you stay encouraged or joyful in the midst of unanswered prayer?
Well, I'm glad God doesn't answer my prayers in a lot of areas.
Okay.
Yeah, because so many of my prayers over the years, I came to realize later, weren't very good, even though I thought they were at the time. If he'd have answered my prayers the way I wanted to, a lot of the blessings that I would have undergone wouldn't have happened. And so, what I've learned over the years, seriously, is when I pray less and less for what I want, and I just say, Lord, I don't even know what to pray for. I don't know what your plans are. I don't know if you want me sick or healthy or here or there. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you want. And if God were to come to me and say, Matt, ask me anything and I'll give it to you. Mm-hmm. What I would say is, okay, this is what I ask, that you do with me as you desire. That's it. Mm. He knows better. Mm. And so we sometimes, what we'll do is we'll get these prayers, I want this and I want that. And Lord, please, save my daughters, save my neighbor, save, so-and-so, heal my wife, all these legitimate prayers. And, they're not being answered the way I would like them answered. But, I've learned, God, you're the sovereign king. May your will be done. So I ask for their salvation as an example, and then just wait and trust God. I don't get discouraged. Hold on. Okay, we've got a break, all right? Because we got a break, we'll get away. Okay, so hold on, folks. We'll be right back after these messages. Please stay tuned.
Have you encountered the God of all comfort? Full commentary with Stu Epperson, author of the book, Last Words of Jesus. In 2 Corinthians chapter 1, God's introduced to us by Paul as the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort. He goes on to say that same comfort with which God comforts you in your deepest trial, your deepest despair, your darkest moment, God's going to use you to comfort others, because there's someone out there fighting a battle that you have no idea about. And that battle could be what you just came through. Put your arm around them, love them, give them comfort, and introduce them to the one who came and felt our pain and bore our sin and shame and trials and afflictions on the cross, Jesus Christ. He's the God of all comfort, and he wants to comfort you, and he wants to comfort others through you today. Full commentary with Stu Epperson, author of the book, Last Words of Jesus. Available now in bookstores. Learn more at lastwordsofjesus.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Each word is a testimony.
Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for.
And his word is always true on the Truth Network.
By your presence, Lord.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Did the interview go? I did it. I got the job. I can't believe it. I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. If you want to give me a call, all you got to do is dial 877-207-2276. Okay, so it's the Utah Christian Research Center, and it's in Sandy. The Utah Christian Research Center. I've been there. It is really great. Bill McKeever, Eric Johnson run it. It's a great facility. The address is on the website. Just go to Utah. Just look up Utah Christian Bookstore. I think in Draper, and on the web you'll find it. And it's a full schedule of things that are going to be happening there. And like I said, on the 22nd at 6 p.m. Saturday evening, I'll be debating on whether or not the charismatic gifts are for today, and then we'll probably have fellowship, food, or something like that someplace, somehow afterward. All right, let's get back on with Janet. Janet, welcome. You're back on the air.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we were talking about unanswered prayer, and you were saying some of the benefits of it or whatever.
Yeah, yes, that's true. There's a lot of benefits to it. That's right.
Yeah.
But but sometimes there are prayers that, like, my oldest daughter, pray for her salvation, and not happening so far. We've been praying for years. Well, okay, we just keep praying. That's all we can do.
And you still stay encouraged with all that going on. You don't get your prayer answered, but you stay motivated for Christ.
Of course.
It would be kind of hard to do. It's like, oh, I didn't get my prayer answered. But,
well, so
yeah.
So every prayer is answered. Yes, no, wait. One of those three. Yes, no, wait. Now, sometimes if you ask some stuff, you got to be careful, because if God's going to take you seriously, He might change you, might put you through some stuff. So what I tell people to do is you trust God. He doesn't owe you the answer you want. He's the sovereign King. If you go into prayer with that attitude, then you'll be fine. Now, I have an illustration I use. So a lot of times, the will of God, imagine a world, and there's this humongous river. And this river is the will of God. And along the river is a path. And what a lot of people do is they run along that path. And they want their own path, but they don't want to jump into the will of God and be carried by it. They'd rather be outside near it, dipping their toes in the water when they feel like it, and then say, God, how come you're not carrying me along? How come you're not answering me? What I say to people is, if you want to be in the will of God, then you've got to change. Because what we want is for God to change for us. If you want to be in the will of God, then be changed so that what his will is your will. So that when you pray, you're praying his will. This takes prayer, and it takes time. It takes knee time, humble time in the presence of God, so that as you're there, you're changed. When generally speaking, I think, it's my opinion, that the more times people are frustrated by God, they don't get the prayers that they want answered, it's because they're praying unrighteously, selfishly, and not with humility. And so they get angry with God and they withdraw from God, but they're not trusting him. So when you go to pray, it's a trust in God. It's an act of faith. I call it faithing. And that's what we're supposed to do. So we trust God as a sovereign king to do what he's going to do when he does. Okay.
Yeah. That's true. Well, I appreciate it. I just need some more confirmation on that. So I wanted to call you and just see what your take was. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, Matt.
Hey, no problem. God bless, Jenna. God bless.
Okay, have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay,
Happy Father's Day, too.
Oh, that's right. It's Sunday, isn't it? Huh? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll go out to dinner with my wife. That'd be
Bye-bye.
nice. All right. We'll see you. God bless.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Let's see. Let's get to Terry. Terry, welcome. You're on the air.
Hi, Matt.
Hey.
I'm struggling with. I travel into New York and Miami and Houston, Texas, and all over. How do you strike up a conversation to someone about Jesus? How would you recommend someone start a conversation about coming to God?
I go fishing. I fish. I throw out lures to see if they'll bite. That's what I do. So I'll sometimes wear a shirt, like one I have on right now says, make 1984 fiction again. That can start up a conversation. Yesterday at the gym, I had a shirt with a cross on the back. And, so when I talk to people, I use whatever I can. My last name is Slick. So when I'm talking to somebody or they need my name for something at a store or whatever, I'll say, yeah, last name Slick. And they'll, I say, and I'm a reverend too. And it doesn't sound good, does it? Reverend Slick. And I say it as a joke and they chuckle because I'm using that as an opportunity to be able to try and maybe have a conversation. And it'd be different contexts and different places. And, I'm going to pick up tennis again, Lord willing. And I do hope to be able to witness when I get in the tennis court. I haven't played for 35 years. I used to be pretty decent. And so maybe I can get back into it. And what I'm going to do is not tell them what I do. I'm not going to bowl them over. I'm going to just be myself. And they say, hey, well, what do you do? I run a website. And they're like, oh, what is it? And then they have the opportunity to slowly earn that right to speak. So it's just different contexts, bring different approaches. Okay.
I even thought about getting a shirt that says, if you want to know about Jesus, talk to me.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
Try it. Well, I used to have a shirt that said literally, it said, ask me your toughest question about God, Jesus, the Bible, in the Bible. And only one person ever asked me a question. And I wore it for a couple of years off and on. Only one person ever did. So I tried that too.
But you have to know what you're talking about too. You have to know.
Yeah.
You have to know how to back that up.
Well, I have been doing this for decades, so I have a little bit of things to say about stuff. So
it was funny what you said to the previous caller.
it was funny.
It's exactly what I've always said. You said, Jesus will answer you. God will answer you. Yes, no, or not right now. That was perfect.
Right.
What you said to the previous caller.
Yes. Yeah. And that's right. That's what it is. Yes, no, wait. Okay. Yes, no, wait. And that's it. So I've had prayers that I'm glad he said no to. I am so glad. I'm not even I'm not even
Amen.
wise enough to know what to ask. Unless it's in scripture where Jesus says, pray for this, then I'll pray for it. I'm telling you. Yep.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay. All right, buddy.
We love you. Happy Father's Day.
Hey, you too. God bless. All right. Okay.
God bless you.
All right. Okay, now let's get to Luke from Washington, D.C. Luke, welcome. You are on the air.
Oh, Matt, how are you?
Doing all right? Hanging in there. What do you got, man?
But today I was talking to one of my
Oh.
brothers and friends.
Hey, sorry about that. We got a break. We got a break. Sorry about that. Just a little bad timing there. So hold on, okay? Hey, folks, we'll be right back after these messages with Luke, and then we'll get to April from North Carolina. We have 2 open lines, 877-207-2276. We'll be right back.
Here are the contest rules for the Truth Network. Prizes won are not transferable, redeemable for cash, or exchangeable for any other prize. All prizes must be redeemed for the station within 30 days of winning. Only one prize per household for the winning station of Truth Broadcasting within any 30-day period. The rest of our contest rules are listed under the About Us link at our website, truthnetwork.com. Thanks for playing and listening to the Truth Network.
Each word is a testimony. And his word is always true on the Truth Network.
My name is Judy Teeter, and I'm the mother of 3 boys. My youngest, Joe, was a great kid. He loved sports, music, and his youth group. One day, Joe asked me to drive him to an after-school event, which was about a mile from our home. I was driving through a green light when a car in cross traffic ran a red light and drove right into the side of our car, killing Joe. The driver was talking on her phone, so she never even saw the red light. She was so absorbed in her phone call. Before the crash, I didn't realize just talking on a cell phone while driving was so dangerous. Now it's something I think about every day. According to the National Safety Council, about 1 in 4 car crashes involves a cell phone. Hands-free is no safer. When you're behind the wheel, put away your phone. For Joe and for the thousands of needless deaths every year. Remember, there is no safe way to talk on a cell phone while driving. Find out more at nsc.org/callskill.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids, regardless of their illness or injury. When a child is hospitalized, they're scared, lonely, and stressed. Being in hospital facing painful treatments takes away from the happiness of childhood. But that's where Starlight comes in. At Starlight, we provide entertainment through our gaming stations, comfort with our specially designed hospital gowns, play with our toy deliveries, and distraction through our virtual reality headsets. Starlight programs are what happiness is made of, the things that make being a kid special. The simple power of a smile. Delivered to over 800 children's hospitals and medical facilities across the country, can make a lifetime of difference for sick kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
Everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome back. We have 2 open lines, 877-207-2276. Back to Luke from Washington. All right, Luke. That break was a bad time, but that's okay. What do you got, man?
Okay. Is salvation a process? No, the Protestant says that salvation has sanctification, justification, glorification. 3 of them are a process. Is that process justification, sanctification, and the glorification?
No.
So these 3 involved in a process. So therefore, salvation is a process.
No, it's not.
You agree?
No, it's not. It's a demonic doctrine to teach that. So justification's a legal imputation, a legal act of God where he imputes to you the righteousness that belongs to him, to God, which is fulfilled and accomplished in Christ. You can go to Philippians 3:9, having therefore been justified by faith, Romans 5:1. It's a one-time event. It's permanent. And sanctification is a process that people go under in order to make themselves, not make themselves, but to work with grace, the grace of God to bring them into a better relationship with Christ and be more like him. Cults, false religious systems like Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses, Christian Science, Unity, Baha'i Islam, Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodox, they mess up justification and sanctification. They combine them. In their foolishness, they think that they can, in any way, shape, or form, add to the work of God by their sincerity, by their accomplishment, to prove that their faith is true, and all this stuff is just demonic doctrine. So justification is accomplished by faith. I can go through the verses in the scripture and show that, and put it to rest. So if anybody tells you to the contrary, they don't understand biblical theology. Okay.
Sanctification is a process, so we are not perfect. So
Right.
once saved, it's always saved. That's what you said. So
Yes.
since we are not perfect person, it's going to be an ongoing process, right?
Sanctification is an ongoing process. Justification is not. Okay. Sanctification is a process. It's by definition a process of becoming more like Christ. Justification is not a process.
Romans 8:24. For in hope we have been saved, but hope that is seen, not hope. For who hopes for that what he already sees. And then in Luke 13:23, and someone said to him, Lord, are there just a few who are being saved? In Acts chapter 16:31.
Well, hold on. You see, when the heretics bring up these kind of verses to say that salvation is a process of an individual over the lifetime, I'm going to just tell you flat out: they're heretics, they're false teachers, they're antichrists. Period. So when it says, and someone said to him, Lord, there are just a few who are being saved, what that being saved there means that there's people, you can have 100 people, and you could have 20 of them that are being saved. One yesterday, one today, one tomorrow, one the next day. It's in that process. But their individual salvation is instantaneous because God grants that they have faith, Philippians 1:29, and he imputes the righteousness to them, Philippians 3:9. This is a one-time thing accomplished by faith. And I can show it to you in scripture. So when they quote these verses, and it irritates me because what they're doing is they're repeating the whisperings of Satan and saying that you have to go through a process in order to be saved. A process of justification, being baptized, take the sacraments, don't do this, do that over the long period of time, work with the energies of God over a long period of time, you'll end up being saved. This is demonic doctrine from the pit of hell. It's false teaching. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
It is. And this stuff, that's what irritates me because it sounds biblical. And they take verses out of context and they twist the word of God to their own destruction. And the Bible tells us we need to be able to be aware of this and to be able to refute them. And that's exactly what I do when I talk to them who teach this. And I call them on the carpet and I say, you got to stop believing this demonic doctrine. You got to understand, you can't add anything to the blood of Christ. Your works and God's blood on the cross don't get you saved. And then they give me this stuff. They say, well, you got to have faith that works. Look, the true faith isn't what makes you work. Regeneration is what does that. God living in you, you're then saved and you do good works because of that. Faith is a product of God's work in you. Those who have true faith are also regenerated, and their works are a result of the regeneration. But your works don't contribute with your faith in order to get you saved, keep you saved, or regain your salvation. And I tell them, I say, you need to stop believing the doctrines of demons. You got to understand, I tell them, you got to understand that faith is what God grants. Philippians 1:29, to you it has been granted to believe. And Jesus says the work of God is that you believe in him whom he has sent. John 6:29. And Romans 4, 1 through 5, maybe I'll go on after it to talk about it after the next caller, says that justification's by faith. Well, I ask them, are we justified by faith? Yes. Okay. Are we justified by faith when we have faith? And they don't want to answer the question because they know if they say yes, then their baptism isn't necessary. Their sacraments aren't necessary. Their good works aren't necessary. And I say, you're right. They're not necessary for salvation. This is why the Roman Catholic Church, which teaches that good works along with faith are necessary for salvation, is teaching a demonic, satanic doctrine that's from the pit of hell. Because it teaches that, paragraph 2068, for example, that you attain salvation through faith, baptism, and the observance of the commandments. And paragraph 2036 says that keep the precepts of the natural law because their observance is necessary for salvation. And in paragraph 2070, it says that the precepts of the natural law are the 10 commandments. So keeping the 10 commandments is necessary for you to attain salvation. This is works righteousness. It's back under the law. The Eastern Orthodox Church says that baptism is where you attain justification, and the energies of God, the graces of God, work in you and through you over a period of your life in order to make you more like Christ, theosis, by which you then hope to become saved. This is all from the pit of the fiery hell, the abode of the Antichrist. The devil himself is teaching this through the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church. That's the truth. Mormonism is no better. Christian Science is no better. And Jehovah's Witnesses are no better because they do the same thing. They add works to the finished work of Christ on the cross, and they have a false gospel. So anyone who would teach you that justification's a process or your salvation's a process that you've got to go through, they are not teaching biblical theology. They're teaching demonic doctrine. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. That's the Bible. That's the truth. People need to say it, and more godly men need to stand up and say it as well. All right, buddy. God bless. So, folks, we got a call here, April. We'll get to that. And maybe afterwards, I'm going to go through Romans chapter 4, verses 1 through probably 6, and I'll expound on why justification is a one-time thing from God's word. I know a lot of you need to hear this, and a lot of you do need to hear this. Okay, let's get to April from North Carolina. Welcome. You're on the air.
Hello. I've heard you talk about your experience with Jesus.
Yes.
That changed your life.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could share that.
Okay. I'll give you the 2-minute version before the break, okay? All right, you ready? Okay.
Yes.
So 50 years ago, when I was 17, I went to a church near where I lived because some friends of mine in high school invited me to go, and I went, and there was a film and about Jesus, and the pastor said after the film, who wouldn't mind knowing more about Jesus? I raised my hand. Who would mind knowing more? Good, come forward. Some others had raised their hands too. We ended up going forward. I remember thinking I'm going to leave, and I still remember looking at the exit sign. Even at this minute, I can still see it. This man got out of the crowd of the congregation and started talking to me as each one did with other people. Anyway, and he went through the gospel, which I wasn't paying attention to. And then I finally started to pay attention when he said, "Do you want to receive Jesus as your Savior?" And I said, well, to myself, if he's real, I give him a shot, it'll work. If he's not real, it won't matter. So I said, I'll give him a shot, but if I'm going to do this, I better be sincere. So I prayed, started to pray, and all I can tell you is the Holy Spirit himself came over me with such great power that instantaneously I was heaving in agonizing tears of repentance. I was in the presence of holiness, and I threw myself to the ground, moaning and wailing in agony, because I was in the presence of incredible holiness. It was incredible. I still remember it. It was unbearable. I remember weeping and moaning, almost yelling out my agonizing tears. And this went on for about a minute or two. And then Jesus was next to me. I don't know how I knew, but he was there. I remember him. I remember his attention. I remember everything, his concern. And then he stepped into me, moved into me. I had a physical sensation of my sin leaving, and that guilt was gone. I was saved. That's what happened to me 50 years ago. We got a break. Hold on, I'll be right back after these messages. Please stay tuned, folks.
While someone rushes through their day, there's a mountain looking up at the sky while someone looks down at their phone. A trail waiting to be walked while someone waits for a latte. This world is full of somewheres waiting for someone just like you. So go see yours at 154 national forests and 20 grasslands. And to learn more, visit nationalforest.org. The National Forest Foundation. See yours somewhere.
Each word is a testimony.
A million words of my mistakes, so couldn't keep your love away. However far away from home, that's how I will
And his word is always true on the Truth Network.
Hi, I'm E.J. Williams for American Humane. For thousands of years, dogs have been our best friends in our worst times. Today, we're also learning that our best friends, millions of whom are abandoned each year, are often the best medicine when people are facing obstacles. To help both people and animals, organizations like American Humane have been working to harness the healing power of the human-animal bond, finding animals in need of forever homes and training them as life-saving service and therapy dogs to help our veterans, the elderly, and children overcome the daily obstacles of life. In this way, the rescued can become the rescuers. To find out how you can help give animals and the people they help a new leash on life, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Hi, I'm Peter Sagal. When we were growing up, my two brothers and I just loved our Uncle Ted. He was like a really cool big brother who always brought around the best toys and took us to the best places and with whom we always had the most fun. It was odd, though, when we got older to realize he wasn't nearly as outgoing and adventurous with other adults. I found out much later that this might have had something to do with the ostomy bag he wore ever since he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease as a teenager and had part of his lower intestine removed. Theodore Skolnick, my Uncle Ted, died last year at the age of 80, never having once mentioned his illness to me or my brothers. He left a large bequest to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation to help fund better treatments for these diseases and also to help other people, old and young, seek and get help for the situation that he was never able to talk about. Don't feel you need to hide your Crohn's or colitis. Go to spillyourguts.org to learn more about the treatments available and even find a specialist.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Last segment of the hour. So we'll get April back on here in a second when the producer reactivates her, and I'll get back on. And there we go. Thank you very much, April. You asked.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
I do thank you for that.
Okay.
I do have a quick question though.
Sure.
Is doubt a normal? I don't even know how to say it. Okay, I was saved years and years ago, but I still have that doubt, and I don't know what I'm doubting because I know God's there. I know He's real, but I don't know why I doubt things. I mean, it's not a constant doubt. It's, it'll just pop up here and there, and I don't want that. And I've heard some people say, "Oh, well, if you're saved, you would never doubt anything."
Not true.
And then I've heard people say that if you're saved, Satan is going to fight you as hard as he can.
That's true.
So, I just don't know if that's normal or not.
Even after the incredible experience that I had, I've had my doubts. And what I've learned over the years is not to trust my feelings. And Our doubts are normal. We don't see him. We don't touch him. We don't hear his voice. Sometimes when people have doubts and they linger, sometimes what God does is purifies your faith by putting you through a desert so that you come out either believing or not believing. He purifies it. And that happened to me. And it took a few years because I have a thick skull and a hard heart. And it came down to one thing for me. Do I believe Jesus Christ was God in flesh who rose from the dead for 3 days? Yes. And after that, I don't have doubts anymore. But I can't exactly say that's exactly true. But those doubts are extremely weak. And I just go back to, but he rose. And I move forward. So you don't feel bad if you have doubts. I mean, in one sense you should, in another sense you should not. You know, of course you're supposed to believe, you're not supposed to have doubts. But the reality is, hey, we have doubts. And, you know, I just say, okay, give them to God. Just talk to him about them. And say, Lord, my failures are evident. And I just choose to continue to believe in you beyond my ability to understand. And that's what I've done. And I think it's simple. It's easy, doable.
Yeah.
Not always exactly the easiest thing to say, though. But, you know.
Well, I do thank you for sharing that story.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, I believe I was given that experience because of what I'd be doing. And, you know, reading cult material, debating atheists, talking to Muslims. I am entrenched constantly and have been for decades in the filth of demonic doctrine. And I believe, my opinion, that God gave me that so that I would have something I couldn't deny. And many times I've come to the place of like, oh my goodness, but I go, wait a minute, but I remember him. And I'm able to push through it. So I believe he called me to this ministry from years past and gave me what I needed for it. So I don't look to myself as special, and no one should, but he equips us for what he wants us to do. And so with you too, he's going to equip you because you're a child of God and you're given spiritual gifts. And if you have these doubts, the enemy is coming against you. And what you need to do is give them to Jesus. To Jesus, I'm praying to you, but I'm doubting. But I'm still praying. Help my unbelief. And you move forward and you choose to believe. I don't know if you're married or not, but if you are, you probably understand this idea that sometimes your husband's not very lovable. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
And of course, with me, I always am, but I tell my wife, but anyway, it's another story. And so if you get the idea that that your husband is sometimes not very lovable, you still choose to love him anyway. Because that's what we do. And we can choose to faith in God, faith in Christ. And you can say, Lord, to the best of my ability and understanding, I continue to choose to believe in you. And just, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And that's all you can do. All right? And in fact, in Mark 9:24, Jesus, in 23, Jesus says, all things are possible to him who believes. Immediately the boy's father cried out and said, I do believe. Help my unbelief. I love that. Mark 9:24. I believe, but help my unbelief. That's us. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
And don't be
I have
surprised.
a lot more questions, but I don't know.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's okay. But I'm going to say, don't be surprised if your life gets tough soon. I'm not warned because it might be that God's purifying your faith. Because if you ask him to strengthen it, he may say, okay, here goes.
Oh, it's been tough for a while now.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I don't want to say tough as in, I mean, I have a great family. I do. But things do get hard, and it feels like I am just fighting. And I've even told people I think I'm fighting literal demons, because I've heard somebody close to me tell me that they're fighting demons, and I'm thinking, oh, it's figure of speech. But I don't think so anymore. I think he really is, and I think I am too because of that. I mean, I feel like I'm fighting for him, this family member.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it's been really tough last few years.
Well, here I got some questions for you, because we can't get into this too much because we're almost at the end of the show and all of that. But have you got some lady friends who are good, godly women that you can talk to?
Yes.
On
I have
Carm.
a great church family.
Oh, good. Well, you need to talk to them too. We do have a prayer ministry here, and Joanne is great at just talking and being caring and stuff like that. And so's Laura. I'm just a doofus guy with Asperger's, but my heart just goes out to you. I mean, we could talk in details and stuff like that. And all I can say is, through it, as hard as it may be, you need to choose to have faith in God. And you just hang on to that.
Yeah.
And that's all you do. And it's a great glory to him and a work in you. And you might be surprised what comes out of it later. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk more, but now it's not the best situation at time. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Email us, and people pray, and there's some good people here who talk. There's good counselors. All right. Just, sometimes you just need to talk, And
Okay. And the email is on the Carm website?
Yeah, just info@carm.org or prayer@carm.org. Okay. And if you want to get a hold of me, it's doofusking@carm.org, and then that gets right to me.
Doofus King. Okay. Okay, those are two easy ones to remember.
Prayer and info. Okay. All right. God bless. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend. All right. Let's get to Jeremy from Kentucky. Jeremy, welcome. You're on the air. Jeremy. If I say different tones, maybe that'll work. Maybe not. Let's go to Cameron from Raleigh, North Carolina. Cameron, welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Matt. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Hanging in there, man. What do you got, buddy?
Thanks. And, I had heard one time before, I'm kind of fleshing out my end time views and making sense of Matthew 24 and 25 and trying to put them in context. I had heard on that part, I think it's near verse 40, where it talks about, two in the field, one was snatched up and one was gone.
That's the wicked. Yeah.
What do you think is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you think the wicked are snatched up? Is that
absolutely?
Do you place that within the tribulation?
Well, first of all, you got to understand. You go to Matthew 24, Luke 17. Read the parallels, and it's, without a doubt, it's the ones who are wicked are the ones who are taken. And there's no way out of it. Once you read the context, go to Matthew 24, Luke 17, and it says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be the days of the coming of the Son of Man. For they were eating, they were drinking, they were giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark and the flood came in. Matthew 24 says, took them all away. Luke 17 says the flood came and destroyed them all. So the ones who were taken are the ones who were destroyed. They were the wicked. And then Luke 17, they asked Jesus, where are they taken? And he answers, where the body is, the vultures are gathered. Now, we're at the end of the show, so I have to go through this quickly. You go to Matthew, Matthew 13, and look around verse 30 and read the parable a little bit before, a little after. It's a parable of the wheat and the tares. And Jesus says, let the angels come, and the first ones gathered, the wheat and the tares, the first ones gathered are the tares, the unbelievers, to be burned. That's what it says. And then gather the wheat into the barn. Then you read down further, and he interprets that parable. The wheat and the tares, he describes who they are, and the harvest is by the angels at the end of the age. So the rapture happens at the end of the age. That's when the wicked are destroyed, along with when the good are taken. This is not common knowledge.
Simultaneous event.
It's simultaneous or concomitant, yes. But notice what it says back in Matthew 24:29. It says, but immediately after the tribulation of those days. Now, which tribulation? Some say the Great Tribulation, which is the last 3.5 years of the 7. Some say it's a tribulation period, the 7 years. Some say the first half. But anyway, we don't have time to get into it. The sun will be darkened. I have to hurry up because we've got like 15 seconds. He says, and the sky will be darkened, etc. He will send forth his angels with a great trumpet, and he will gather together his elect from the four winds. After the tribulation is when the gathering occurs. Okay? Dude, we're out of time.
Okay.
Call back on Monday. We can go through it slowly
thank you,
at the
Matt.
beginning of the show, okay? And I'll show you more stuff, all right? Okay, buddy?
Appreciate it.
All right, man. God bless.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, folks, sorry about that. We're out of time. Great topic. Love to talk about it, but we don't have time. May the Lord bless you. Talk to you on Monday. All right, Charlie.
It sounds just fine here.
I'm not hearing you.
Uh-oh.
Let me check my settings.
All right.
And
how about now? Nothing? Nothing yet?
Let's try this. Now say something.
Okay, something.
Okay.
There we go.
Same speaker, different location in my list. Works. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
So, Jeremy,
So, Joanne, what happened? How come Joanne didn't start the room in Clubhouse?
Joanne did start the room. She was there. I was in it. Charlie.
Really?
Yeah, she was in there. We were all in there. And then, just so you're aware, she has 2 Joanne accounts. She has Joanne Dog Lover and then just Joanne. We've got her set up on her computer to transfer links and stuff to Clubhouse under Joanne Dog Lover. So she needed you to monitor that one, not the regular Joanne.
Well, the thing is, I'm doing, I'm juggling, thinking, looking like this. I got to do that too, and I mess up. But this is interesting because normally I just go into Clubhouse and there's the Carm room. Okay, I just click it, I'm in. And I rebooted. I turned the program off and on like 3 times, thinking maybe she was late. Turns out something else went wrong. So I thought maybe she's having a problem. So I just went and I didn't know what to do. I typed in a search for my name, thinking maybe I can find it. Maybe she's already got it going, and I'll find it. I'll just join it. And it didn't have it. It said start a room. It's the only thing. Okay, so I didn't know what was going on with Joanne, so I started a room. That's what happened. That's why. So don't know what's going on.
Jeremy that called in, he actually was muted, and he had accidentally muted himself, and that's why you couldn't hear him. But he did ask some questions earlier. I did star them for you.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Matt, I'd like to hear your take on 1 Corinthians 15:29. No, it was it has to do with the resurrection chapter. And he says, why do they get baptized for the dead? Not we. They. If even them, the unbelievers, the pagans do this, if they didn't believe in a resurrection, that's what's going on in 1 Corinthians 15:29. Okay. John Brown, hey, somebody recommends some good literature on covenant theology to supplement Scripture. He wants to supplement Scripture. That's what it says there. Scripture. Maybe he means Scripture, but I think it could be the other book called Scripture. McKimsky, I think McKimsky on covenant is good. But other than that, I can't really remember. Okay. Okay. So I didn't get enough sleep last night. So I lay down to get a nap, just a little bit. So I'll be ready for the show and everything. And Anik says, the lawnmower guys are here. We have some guys with the lawn. And so I had to pay them. And they speak Spanish. So I had to go out there and, talk to them. And then the sprinklers weren't working right. So I had to ask them something. And then we got that fixed. So it was like, oh, man, it was just bad timing. So I came back in, laid down for just a few and got up and like, forget it, man. I got less to do. So that's what happened. That's why I was a little bit late and I planned my stuff out. I planned everything out and then it didn't work. All right.
Well, I did my research on the YouTube thing, so we'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
You weren't in early enough so we could chat.
Yeah, well, we can do it later tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to probably walk around the block and do some more stuff. I get online. I talk, so that's good. But other than that, I can't think of anything. So I don't know. Yep.
It was a long day with meetings. I don't blame you for taking a nap.
Yeah, it was a long day. Yeah.
The show was good, and everybody keep that woman in prayer. I can't remember her name now. That called in. She was a sweetheart that needs people to talk to and prayers.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Think about it.
April was her name. Thank you, Steve.
Oh. Hey, kid, how you doing, man?
It's been interesting.
Okay.
One of our mutual acquaintances told me today he's going to tattle on me to you. So, and that's real.
Okay, that's good. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Ain't no big deal.
So I missed most of the show because I was talking to a Muslim. I was reading a Karm website to him about sources that are outside the Quran that are quoted in the Quran, the previous sources that are quoted verbatim in the Quran, like the Talmud and things like that.
Good. How'd it
So
go?
at least I was tardy for a good reason. It did go well, but we gave her, information that she can look into if she's willing to.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of research thing. We just start asking Muslims, why is Islam true? I just open-ended question. I'm going to see the varying reasons they give, and then I think I'm going to write an article refuting all of them.
I can't tell you. I probably didn't start off too well. The person came in, said they believed in Jesus. I knew immediately they were Muslim, and so I said, but don't you believe Jesus lied when he said the Son of Man is going to Jerusalem to be put into the hands of the Jews, turned over to the Gentiles, nailed to a cross, who he will die and raise again on the third day? And she said, no, he was telling the truth. And so I showed her Surah 4:157, which says he didn't die on a cross. And I said, so is the Quran true, or was Jesus lying? So that probably wasn't the best start.
Well, you never know. It's the best start if it works, and it's not the best start if it didn't work. But you don't know if it works, so you don't know if it's the best start or not.
It's good for Discord, I'll tell you that. I mean, a good Discord crowd loves that sort of thing. But
true.
I don't know if it's the best I could have done. I'm not sure.
Well, what I say is, oh well, just try. And like I tell people, I actually remember once when I actually thought I witnessed very well, it went smoothly, and it happened once.
Yeah, Matt and I starting out did a lot of knuckleheaded things, but the Lord, he blessed us anyway because just of his graciousness.
Knucklehead is correct.
I got to keep it G-rated, yes.
Yeah. Let's just say there was just a smidgen room of improvement for Charlie and I when we started out. Just a smidgen. Now, smidgen in Greek means great chasm, but
there you go.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I have respect for you is because you did the swap meets, and I've given away Christian reading material at swap meets before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lord seemed to open doors for us that we had no idea he would open in conversations with people. And it's just like his hand was at work. And after we'd spent a long hot day out there at the drive-in theater, we kind of look at each other and said, wow, how did those many hours go by that quickly?
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, we were eager and ignorant, I guess. Eager and ignorant.
And we learned our own lessons out there too.
I'd be trying to teach new missionaries how to give away Christian books, and I'd say, oh, it's real easy and all of that. And the previous time it would be, and then we'd be like at a swap meet or something, and somebody would throw the book back in my face or something like that. And it's like, well, I was trying to train somebody. Now all their fears are being, realized.
Yeah. Well, it's what it is.
Yep.
Now, most times, of course, people didn't throw anything in my face. It's just when I was trying to train the most timid people.
Right.
Yeah, people can do that. The Lord actually threw a couple of things in our face, didn't he, Matt?
Like what?
That one little kid that was grabbing all our tracks on pornography.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, they're anti-pornography, of course. And
let's hope so.
The kid asked us if they were free, and we said, yeah, they're free. So he got a handful of them. And then he came back later and he said, can I have some more? And we started thinking, what's he doing? Just going making paper airplanes or what? And then we noticed him, and he was across the aisle from us, and there was a huge double-sided space where a guy was selling hardcore men's magazines, and this kid would take one of those tracks. He'd walk over where this guy was selling these literally bales of magazines, and the little kid would look up into the air and reach over and open a page to the book while he's looking straight up, slip a track in, and close the book while the guy wasn't looking. And me and Matt thought, you know, we didn't even have the nerve to go over across the aisle and try to witness to this guy. And here this little kid about 10 years old is being more bold than we were. And I'll tell you what, the Lord really, he really had a time whacking us with our lacking in that department at that moment. It was something. Yeah, the Lord threw that right in our face, you know. Wow. And here we were suspecting he was just grabbing them because they're free. Wow.
We did something similar. One time we were at a March for Utah, and there was this adult bookstore just on the edge of Utah. So it was like in Nevada or something. And Christians kept picketing it and trying to get it shut down and everything. And it would always get opened again and everything. And one time at this March for Jesus, I think it was in Cedar City, this guy came up to me and he was all angry, and I didn't know why he was so upset. Turned out he was the owner of this store, and he was just mad at Christians for trying to get him shut down. And we had Christian books, and I said, "You willing to put one of these in every bag that leaves your place?" And he said, "Yeah." And so we gave him hundreds of books to give away, not believing he'd really do it. But we had our phone number stamped on the inside of these books, and we started getting phone calls. And we always ask people, you know, if we get a call in the middle of the night, we always ask them, "Well, where'd you get the book?" So we know, you know, where the ministry is the most effective. And always we knew if they wouldn't tell us where they got the book, that it was from that place. And
Right.
it turned out to be. We were giving away, you probably know this one, Charlie. We were giving out Prison to Praise by Merlin Carruthers.
Wow. What a unique opportunity.
Yeah, it only happened once, but that was probably, I don't know, 400 or 500 books, and he really was putting them in there, which is something I never would have thought of either. You know, it's not like you get up one day and say, "Where are we going to do our missionary work?" "Oh yeah, let's go ask an adult bookstore to give away Christian reading material."
That's right. People would have thought that was something lame to even try. But hey, like I say, the Lord used us, and he uses other lame opportunities, or lame from our perspective, and he'll just bless them, you know, and it's all to his glory, and because we sure didn't do anything that was of any huge merit in our attempts, but he blessed our attempts, and we thank him for it.
We met casino workers the same day, and we placed Prison to Praise in casinos, and we actually checked out the casinos to see if they were really giving them away. We went in undercover, and they were giving them away. And it's like, wow, we can't get Christians to give away this stuff, and yet the unbelievers are coming to us and saying, "Sure, we'll give them away."
Amazing.
It reminds me of what Jesus said when he was, you know, going in on Palm Sunday, and the Pharisees say, "Hey, tell your followers to be quiet," and he says, "If they were quiet, the rocks would rise up."
Yeah.
To me, that's always meant, if the first people God calls to do something won't do it, God will still find somebody to do it.
Yep.
He's not lost if you won't do the job.
That's right.
Hey, Charlie, Steve says if you put a white cross or a plus sign on your hat, it'll be a Scottish flag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just picked this up to keep the rain from. It was my rain detector was getting too sensitive, and you know, my Mohawk, which I'm trying to bring back into style. You know, the Mohawks had their run of popularity. Now it's time for the No-Hawk.
Darn it. Okay, can't find it. All right. Oh, well, I'm going to find something. Man, I'm glad it's Friday. Still got to walk around the block. Still got some more stuff to do.
Better you than me. I don't like that exercise stuff.
Well, I have to at my age. Got to do it. You know, you choose to do it. And the first few times I was doing it, I sat down and had to recover because it was so difficult. And now, no problem. So, you know, you just get better and better. You just got to keep doing, and that's it. So, you know, your body will rise to what is pushed to do. And it'll lower itself what you know, the weakest thing you do. So, all right. Whew. I guess that's it then, huh?
Pretty much.
You tell us.
I guess so. I'm going to go. I'll get going. I guess I have to do. And talk to Neek, see how she's doing. Eat maybe. Relax, probably. Walk, probably. Talk. Do more stuff. Work on my debate for next week. Yep. Okay. All right, you guys. God bless. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks.
God bless. Thanks for calling.
And Matt, close Clubhouse because you have to.
Okay, thank you. All right, now I got to figure out. Oh, end room. Okay, we'll see you guys. God bless.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me. All right, there we go. And there we go. We're out. God bless. See ya. Thanks, Steve.